this is Lim with Lim Reviews, and today I'm back with another quick look at the Redmi 7. So as you guys know, I usually share my honest opinions after using these few devices, so let's get to the quick look right away. Before we begin, let's check out what came in the box of the Redmi 7. You get a rather standard set of items here with the Redmi 7. You get the device itself, a slow charger, micro USB cable, and a silicone case. Let's not waste too much time here and jump into the Redmi 7 right away. The Redmi 7 I have comes with pretty decent specs for the price. I'm not going to go through each of them, so feel free to pause the video and check them out for yourself. Specs are just numbers on paper, but what I'm here to share with you is how the Redmi 7 feels like to use in real life. One thing worth mentioning is that I got this device for 1,000 yuan here in China, and that is equivalent to approximately $150. Based on that alone, we're here to find out what kind of device you can expect from that amount of money. First things first, let's check out the design of the Redmi 7. The Redmi 7 comes in 3 colors, black, red and blue, but I chose blue because it looks the best in my opinion. The back panel looks cool and subtle at the same time, with this darker shade of blue transitioning slowly to a lighter shade at the bottom. I also like that the camera barely protrudes from the surface, and this prevents the Redmi 7 from wobbling when placed on its back. If you look closely, you'll also notice that the back curves slightly towards the sides, and this makes it super comfortable to hold in hand. Moving on to the sides, we see here that it is painted in matte blue and it feels like metal to the touch. You have your SIM card tray on the left and the lock with volume buttons on the right. Moving on to the top, you'll see that Redmi has kept both the headphone jack and IR blaster on this budget device. At the bottom, here is where Redmi had to cut some corners, and all you get is a micro USB port with a single firing speaker. Now let's talk about the front. Here we have a small notch at the top, but you do get a slightly thick chin at the bottom. Bezels are not too thin, but I like it that way as it prevents me from making accidental touches when holding the device in my palm. Overall, I find that the design of the Redmi 7 rather pleasing to the eye and would give it a thumbs up. While we're on the topic of design, let me quickly run through build quality. The Redmi 7 feels solid in hand and doesn't give you the impression that it is a cheap device. It comes with a slight heft but doesn't come off as too heavy. It is nicely built all around and you wouldn't see any gaps or seams between the display, sides and back panel. So overall, build quality is good here. Moving on, let's talk about the display on the Redmi 7. It has a large 6.26 LCD display, but due to cost control, only comes with 720p resolution. 720p isn't bad for a phone that costs $150, but when you stretch it across such a wide surface, you tend to lose out a lot on display sharpness. I found that during use, text appeared somewhat pixelated, and image quality definitely isn't the Redmi 7's main strength. The display is also very reflective and viewing angles are pretty poor. This is especially obvious when you take the Redmi 7 outdoors. I found that when I try to take a picture that requires me to point the Redmi 7 upwards, the viewing angle is so poor that I could barely see what is on the display. Taking pictures of items that are high up in broad daylight is a massive challenge. However, if you take the Redmi 7 indoors, it's a different story, as then you can see the display clearly. When purchasing this device, take note on whether you use your smartphone more often indoors or outdoors, as this could really affect you. Before I begin sharing my thoughts on performance, let me quickly show you the benchmark scores I got for the Redmi 7 for reference sake. Again, feel free to press pause and take a closer look. In terms of real-life use, I found the Snapdragon 632 pretty decent. What I mean by that is navigating through the device is fairly quick and without delays. Launching apps also didn't take very long and I could definitely live with this. I tried launching multiple apps at once and going back to the very first app I launched, and the Redmi 7 didn't break a sweat. In fact, I tried out PUBG and another game similar to Mobile Legends and was able to play it rather well. Of course, this doesn't give you the best gaming experience, but when you turn settings to low or medium, you actually get a rather decent frame rate. Overall, if you set your expectations well, you'll find that you're actually getting pretty decent performance for your money. Moving on, let's talk about the main camera on the Redmi 7. To recap, you get a 12+2 megapixel sensor at the back, and this is capable of taking decent photos both in day and night. There really is nothing to shout about here, but again, let me remind you that this device is a budget device, so don't expect it to shoot Samsung S10 quality images. In my opinion, images didn't turn out as sharp as I would have liked it to be. What did surprise me, however, was that images taken at night turned out rather good. The camera on the Redmi 7 is slow, but the trick here is if you have steady hands and have your subject stay still, your chances of capturing a good image increases tremendously. Otherwise, good luck taking photos of moving objects. In terms of the selfie camera, you get an 8 megapixel sensor with autofocus. I didn't take much selfies, but to be honest, I find selfie cameras on most devices to perform rather similarly regardless of megapixel count. Alright guys, that's it about the cameras. Let me show you some samples and you be the judge. Alright guys, now that we've done with the sample photos, the next thing I want to share with you is speaker quality. The Redmi 7 comes with a single firing speaker, but boy does it get loud. It also sounds pretty good with sufficient bass, and I must say I was really impressed with it. I know certain smartphones cost more than the Redmi 7, but doesn't sound half as good, so speakers wise, everything is good here. Before we wrap things up, let's talk about the final topic, the 4000 mAh battery. Throughout my use with the Redmi 7, I managed to achieve a screen-on time of approximately 7 hours on heavy use. This is similar to the performance I got on the Redmi Note 7, and I am happy with it. What I'm not so thrilled about is the time it takes to charge this device. Using the charger and cable in the box, I managed to charge the Redmi 7 from 10% to 100% in 2 hours and 10 minutes. Yes, I know this is a budget smartphone, but I'm so used to quick charging my devices that I find 2 hours and 10 minutes a really long time. Other than that, I don't have any other complaints. Alright guys, this is it. Thank you for listening to me share my real-life experience with the Redmi 7. As with all smartphones, there are things that are great and others that are not. I personally feel that the poor display and slow charging time is a big letdown here. However, that's just me. Whether or not the Redmi 7 is for you really depends on what you are looking for in your smartphone purchase. If you ask me, I would strongly advise you to save up a little more and perhaps get the Redmi Note 7, Realme 3 or even the Samsung M20 for that matter. Otherwise, thanks again for tuning in to my channel. If you like this video, it would mean a lot if you could subscribe or hit that like button. And as always, feel free to ask questions in the comment sections below and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!